From Hanover Insurance Park in Fitton Field in Worcester, Massachusetts, Charter TV3 presents live coverage of the Futures Collegiate Baseball League. Tonight, the Nashua Silver Knights visit the hometown Worcester Bravehearts. It's our national pastime on Charter TV3. Hello, everyone, and welcome down to the field. Kevin Shea alongside of Andy Lacombe. It is Cub Scout night. The Cub Scouts parading in behind us. They'll be camping out on the field tonight afterwards. But before that, we have some baseball to get to. And the Bravehearts and the Nashua Silver Knights, it's a great rivalry. The two teams met for the championship a year ago. Worcester's also playing some good baseball. They're coming off a doubleheader sweep of Brockton. Coaches are hoping, the manager, that this is the impetus they need to go on a little run.
Yeah, you know, they're looking for an identity still early in the year, the Bravehearts are. Get a couple wins in a doubleheader sweep over Brockton, the best team in the league, statistically, or at least the standings-wise early on, and that can help. So was that going to be the jumping-off point for the Bravehearts? Big telling sign today against a good Nashua Silver Knights bunch.
All right, it is Worcester versus Nashua, and we're back with the opening pitch right after this.
Hey, Rich.
Took my advice and came to Cantiana Insurance.
It's in a great location with easy parking. They even have free registry service. They even saved me $350 on my auto insurance. Thanks for the tip.
Hey, that's funny. They combined my homeowners and car insurance, and they saved me over $250.
Hey, you guys. I've been a customer here for years. They're the best.
They are the best. Why haven't you called Cantiana Insurance yet?
If you feel like you're getting knocked around by the big insurance company, call the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia. Whether it's a car accident, slip and fall, or dog bite, don't sign anything from the insurance company until you've talked to a lawyer. Hiring a lawyer can double or even triple the initial settlement offer. Don't stand alone against the big insurance companies. Let the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia fight for you.
Then they have the audacity to warn us about how we run our country. Let me tell you how we should run our country, the way we want to run it. If we don't prepare them young enough to be able to handle those psychological challenges, then just get the couches ready, because we're going to need a hell of a lot more psychiatrists out there. This is not their country. They're allowed to be here. That's great. But they're not here legally, and it's not their country. I mean, if this stuff doesn't tick you off and blow your brains out, I don't know what will.
All right, a great rendition of the anthem here on Cub Scout night. Kevin Shea with Andy Lacombe. Thank you for tuning in to Charter TV3 and WTAG for the broadcast of tonight's game. The Worcester Bravehearts and the Nashua Silver Knights. The two teams met last year in the championship series. And they met a week ago up in Nashua. Worcester won that game 3-0. A very good game. See Nick Barry on the right. He's injured. A veteran of this team. Local product too, but injured right now, so he won't play.
The Bravehearts are wearing special jerseys tonight for diabetes, and look at the Western Division. They are in second place, a game and a half behind the red-hot Wachusett Dirt Dogs, who stand at 10-6. Bravehearts are 9-8. Pittsfield 10-9, tied with the Bravehearts, and the Bristol Blues bringing up the rear of the division. The other side of the division, these Nashua Silver Knights, always tough, and last year, as mentioned in the open, the defending champion knocking off the Bravehearts. A little bit different tonight because the Bravehearts are not in their traditional colors. Jack Hodgson gets the start. Connecticut native out of Boston College.
Yeah, he was recruited, Jack Hodgson, recruited to BC by Alex Trezza. Old friend Alex Trezza is now the pitching coach at Boston College. He's been the pitching coach the last 2 years. He recruited him.
The former Worcester Tornado catcher.
It all comes in a circle back
all
to
Worcester. The order for the Silver Knights. Ted Williams leads off. He's got quite a history here at the ballpark. Cam Cook,
splendid splinter,
the Nichols star, and Kyle Banicki, the Clark star, second and third. Ryan Sullivan's a slugger. Maduri, Andrew Jennings out of Assumption College, also featured in this Nashua Silver Knight lineup.
First pitch to Williams is a ball up high. Hodgson can get it up there in the 90s. He's an upper 80s guy, low 90s guy.
There's a considerable local college flair on the Nashua Silver Knights with Banicki and Cook and Janig, and Mike Cogashaw is in their dugout right now. Not in uniform, but he's wearing the colors of the Silver Knights. Coming off an injury, Assumption College, the former Shrewsbury star, is in the dugout with the visiting team. A different look tonight for him.
3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. The fastball. Hodgson can throw a knuckle curve, a changeup as well. He'll come inside. Swing, gets a piece of it, and the count goes full. So Hodgson battling back. Went to Choate. Prep school in Connecticut.
And he gets all the way back to Eaton full here.
Payoff pitch to Ted Williams. And he missed it. Williams draws a leadoff walk. And now Cam Cook, second in the league in average at .439. Part of that Nichols College team. The Bison have had 2 great years. Their last 2 years have been really outstanding. Cam Cook, a big reason why. Cook fouls it back.
Hodgson, this is his 3rd start. An ERA of 2.53 coming in. The walk for the Bravehearts pitching staff, relatively low, the numbers this year. They're 2nd in the league in walks allowed, the staff. That was the 83rd issued by Worcester. They've had some games where they've had some issues there, but they're still statistically the best pitching staffs in the Futures League.
Slow roller down the third base line, and John Friday waits for it to go foul. Stops it.
Yeah, Cook trying to bunt for a hit there. Got that one all the way down the third base line with the third baseman Friday back. Friday's only play was to let it go foul. He probably would not have had a chance at Cook. He's down 1-2 now in the count.
See what Hodgson does.
Good
Certainly
full beard on
big
Cook
jump from playing at the high school level to jumping in here, and Hodgson gets his first strikeout of the night as he gets Cam Cook looking.
He gets a good batter too for his first strikeout. He had 12 on the year in his first 2 starts.
Now here's Kyle Banicki. Banicki, a star at Clark University. One of the best players in the NUMAC. Was an all-star last year, played in this game, and would have been part of J.P. Pine's squad, but the NCAA rules prohibit coaching your players in the summer, so he actually played for the other team, all-star team.
Comes in today hitting just .259 in the early going for Nashua, but he's a perennial .350 and above guy for Clark in his first couple seasons with the revamped Cougars.
And he'll be back for a 5th year with Clark. Got a redshirt year. Clark has a 5th-year program, so it worked out well. Kyle Banicki will be back. J.P. Pine said the guys always ask him, you know, particularly the pitchers, obviously, what do you do? How do you get Kyle out? He said, I have no idea. He said last year he was like 24 of 27 against us, so I'm probably the last guy to ask.
He normally doesn't have to strategize to get him out in the college season. He's got a good hitter's count here, 3-1 to Banicki.
Williams with a lead at first. And the liner over the head of Dante Ricciardi into right center field. Williams going from first to third, and they're going to wave him home. The throw comes in, not in time. Banicki winds up on third. It is 1-0 Nashua. Manufacturing a run.
Well, problem in the outfield for the Bravehearts. Trevor Johnson, the center fielder. This one, by the way, just a perfect height to get over Dante Ricciardi at second base. And then Johnson and Jensen. Jensen can't pick it up. The ball's in. They're just kind of looking at each other. That's a 2-base error for sure. Allows the run to score and then allows Banicki to get all the way to third base. 1-0. Silver Knights.
Here's big Ryan Sullivan. Sullivan, one of the tops in the league in home runs. He's a guy that really did some damage against Worcester last year in the championship series. He was a beast for Nashua in guiding them to the Futures League championship over Worcester. So he's a guy that JP said we got to really focus and try to get him out tonight.
Comes into the night, 4 home runs, 13 RBI.
Good stop by Koffel behind the plate.
Bravehearts pitching for the most part this season very strong. Again, one of the top staffs in the league. They've had some problems in the field behind their guys, giving up more than 20 unearned runs.
Koffel behind the plate from St. Leo's. Handles the staff well, and another strikeout for Hodgson. Hodgson with 2 strikeouts here in the first inning. He has looked very good.
Yeah, you said it about Koffel too, managing the pitchers, trying to frame up some of the pitches the last couple at bats, just watching him behind the plate. Does a very nice job, and now 2 of the top hitters go down via the strikeout here in the first inning.
And now Maduri chops one foul. Anthony Maduri hit .323 for Binghamton University this year. Maduri hitting in the 5 spot in the lineup. Nashua taking advantage of a Worcester error to score their first run of the ball game. You know, when you talk to the coaches, you talk to the manager, JP Pine, they all love the team. They love the team. They love the makeup of the team. They love the guys on the team. They said this is a championship team. We just need to get hot and play the way we know we can. Hodgson throws over to first, and a nice scoop by Kaczynski. But Nashua gets one after a half an inning. It is 1-0 Silver Knights. Welcome back, everyone. It is a sold-out crowd here tonight at Hanover Insurance Park. 4,000 people expected in here, and they're still filing into the ballpark right now. And we get our look at Nashua starter Tom Githens out of Northeastern University. A couple guys from Northeastern on this Worcester Bravehearts staff, including one of their catchers as well.
Bravehearts lead off with Trevor Johnson. There's a lot of high averages in the first 6 batters here. Johnson and Tom Walraven, Trevor Jensen, Greg Kaczynski, Joe Keiko, Sean Friday, Brett Koffel, Pat DeMarco, a high school star, and then Dante Ricciardi. As a team, the Bravehearts hitting .283.
Yeah, offensively, they're second in the league. Nashua comes in 5th in the league offensively, but it's a flip-flop. Defensively, Nashua's the top team in the league, and the Bravehearts are 7th best.
And unlike the professional team to the east, the Bravehearts 18 home runs. That's tops in the Futures League right now.
Trevor Johnson had a sensational freshman year at Dartmouth College rather. He was a leadoff batter for Dartmouth for the Big Green, and they worked the trimester system, so he was one of those late arrivals, but he came in, he was really, really hot. And of course, as we've mentioned before, his father, Mark Johnson, a former standout at Holy Name, went on to play in the majors, played football and baseball at Dartmouth College. Trevor staying with his grandfather, Skip Johnson. Skip, the longtime Legion coach at Maine South. Johnson goes down looking.
Well, the pitcher Githens is throwing to one of his battery mates out of Northeastern, the catcher, Bodette. And looked good there on that first at-bat. Githens hasn't allowed an earned run in his first 2 starts for the Silver Knights. 12 1/3 for Githens, and he's struck out 16.
Tom Walraven, a difference maker for this team, according to his manager, JP Pine. He has done everything. Hit, defends well, runs the bases well. He's been an all-star so far for Worcester.
Yeah, hitting .313 coming in. You look at those 2 through 5 hitters for the Bravehearts, and Walraven's .313 is the lowest batting average of the bunch. Got some healthy numbers there in the middle of the lineup.
It's a stout lineup, no doubt about that. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tom Walraven. Walraven last year was not healthy the entire year. He was playing through a wrist injury last year. He's healthy this year, and it certainly shows. He was great last year for him. Oh, he got hit on the wrist. Walraven's going to get first base.
Well, he shakes
it's a tough way to get it.
But he gets on base, and that's what he's been doing. And from the statistic department of Daryl Hunt, that is the 23rd straight ball game dating back to last year that Tommy Walraven has reached base, and that is a Bravehearts record. The old record was 20 games. That was a 20-game hitting streak by Mike Cogshell last season. Walraven reaches base. Doesn't take him long to continue his team best streak.
Trevor Jensen played for Tulane University.
We thank Daryl,
New Orleans,
of course, for the statistics,
keeping us informed with the latest and the best updated stats. So here's Jensen with Walraven on first, and Worcester down 1-0, bottom of the first inning. Sold out crowd here at Hanover Insurance Park. They continue to file into the ballpark here. And again, the sun is actually winning the battle right now with the clouds and peeking through. It was raining a little bit earlier in the pregame. Some ominous clouds moving through. It is a heavy cloud cover right now. And he did go. So it'll be 1-2 now to Trevor Jensen.
It is a steamy night at the ballpark.
Surprisingly not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No. Well, I mean, I think the humidity in the press box is 200%.
Oh yeah, it is tough in here. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming to Trevor Jensen. And they throw over to first and check Walraven.
Jensen 345. He's hit for average. Pretty good doubles hitter in that 3 spot.
Chopper to short. Kyle Banicki on to second for 1. Ted Williams over to first, not in time. And they do get the lead runner, but Jensen will wind up on first.
Ball just hit too slowly for the Silver Knights to turn the double play. Across the infield, the locals, Cam Cook, Kyle Banicki, Nichols, and Clark there. Third base and shortstop. Williams is at second. Sullivan, the first baseman. Githens and Bodette, teammates from Northeastern, are the battery. And in left field, it's McDermott and Cruz across in center. And in right field, it's Anthony Midori.
And the batter is Greg Kaczynski for the Worcester Bravehearts out of Marist. And this one will get into the seats. As J.P. Pine described him, he's everyone's All-American. He's a good-looking kid, gets great grades in college, goes to a good school, never gets mad at an umpire. He's been a good hitter for the Bravehearts here. Their cleanup hitter, their rock.
Yeah, their leader, 372, 3 home runs.
Did very well. Runner goes. Kaczynski in the air to left field. Aiden McDermott stays right where he is, makes the grab. And Giffen strands one after 1 complete. It's Nashua 1 and Worcester nothing. Welcome back, everyone. Jack Hodgson is going to be a freshman at Boston College, just finished up his high school career at Choate. Comes inside with the fastball, ball 1 to Andrew Janig. Janig had a sensational season for Assumption College, led the NE10 in average, 3rd team All-American, 1st team All-NE10. Did it all for Assumption, led them in RBIs, in home runs, in average. Janig in there for a strike. Jack Hodgson, we want to welcome those listening on WTAG, Kevin Shea, Andy Lacombe, to our broadcast over the air on Charter TV3 and on the radio on WTAG. Ricciardi at second, on to first, and the leadoff batter, Janig, is retired. We are in the top of the second. It is 1-0 Nashua. The Silver Knights taking advantage of an error in the top of the first to score their run.
Defensively, the Bravehearts have John Friday, Tom Walraven, Dante Ricciardi, Greg Kaczynski in the infield from left to right. DeMarco, Johnson, and Jensen left to right in the outfield. Koffel is the catcher, with Jack Hudson on the mounds.
Here's Teddy Bodette, the catcher from Northeastern University. And a steady diet of fastballs from Jack Hodgson. Again, Hodgson, high 80s guy, but he can pump it up there in the low 90s when he needs to. That one skips away.
Good pitch to kind of miss a little bit. See if you can get Bodette to chase. There's quite a little gathering of Northeastern ball players because, as you mentioned, Kev, on both squads behind home plate just prior to the game.
Hodgson misses outside. The count evens up at 2-2. 2 strikeouts on this young game so far for Jack Hodgson. Again, he will be playing for Alex Trezza. Trezza, the new pitching coach at Boston College. Trezza played here for the Tornadoes, then he managed the Bravehearts.
Part of that first season.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Bodette draws the walk, so coming back, he was down 0-2 in the count. A professional at bat, and he draws the base on balls. But Trezza's a guy that he used to live with Chris Colabello at Colabello House in Milford when they played for the Tornadoes, and the two of them would just sit up all night long and talk baseball. The two just baseball junkies. So he's going to be playing for a great guy and a great baseball guy as well. This is Aiden McDermott, the left fielder. Played for St. John's, freshman last year, hit 188.
Just 182 on the season so far for Nashua.
In the air to center field, Trevor Johnson is there. Johnson makes the catch, 2 down. Years ago, they might have faced each other in the old Big East. Not so anymore. Boston College in the ACC.
Hasn't exactly worked out as the Eagles had planned.
No. Football and basketball, you're two, well, hockey too at BC, but football and basketball have struggled mightily to get wins in the ACC. I personally wish they stayed in the Big East. I loved the Big East. For football and for basketball, it was great. I would have liked to have seen them stay there. With the St. John's, the Seton Halls, Villanova in basketball, Georgetown in basketball, Syracuse. Want more? Just
come on, give me another
West
one.
Virginia.
No, come on. Give me a good team.
Providence for hoops.
There you go.
Providence College, PC Friars.
There you go.
PC had some great years. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Hodgkin gets his 3rd strikeout of the game. This one ends the inning. After 1.5, it is 1-0 Nashua.
I absolutely loved every minute of playing high school sports and just the feeling of going into the locker room before a game and how cool it was coming out and the whole town's all around the field cheering, and it's just such a special feeling.
Played basketball and golf at Auburn High. I was the captain of both teams my senior year. For me, I learned a lot because I played high school sports when I was at Auburn High School.
I started back in March of 1997, and it was a lot different then. I was the only person in sports. We were shooting on VHS tapes.
I started in December of 2000. I was the assignment desk editor and the Health Watch reporter. I was also always a sports guy. You get paid to do things that you love to do, and for us, that's being on a ball field or a basketball court or just being around sports.
Our enthusiasm, I think, for sports is contagious, and everyone gets swept up in it. It shows in, I think, in our overall product in our sports, that everyone cares.
Charter TV3 and UMass Memorial Healthcare have teamed up to bring you the latest news and trends in healthcare. Health Watch, presented by UMass Memorial Healthcare, brings you the healthcare topics that are important to you. From stroke prevention to allergies, skincare to sports injury prevention, and nutrition to pregnancy, Health Watch and UMass Memorial Healthcare informed you on the issues that affect you on a daily basis. Health Watch on Charter TV3. For extended interviews with UMass Memorial Healthcare experts, log on to our website.
Welcome back, everyone. The fans enjoying the ballpark fair here and enjoying the game as well. The Worcester Bravehearts and the Nashua Silver Knights. Silver Knights with a 1-0 lead. Joe Keiko, who leads the league in home runs, had another one last night in Brockton. Had another big night in Brockton. He's been their MVP so far, according to J.P. Pine. What a tremendous athlete, too. Three-sport athlete at Worcester Academy. Played football, hockey, and baseball. Then transfers to Holy Name. And that one got him. No, he spun out of the way of it. Transfers to Holy Name and plays basketball in the winter. Holy Name didn't have hockey, so he plays football, basketball, and baseball. That's the kind of athlete he is.
He's busy. Likes to stay busy.
Swing and a miss. Count goes to 2-1.
He can slug, and he's done it for the Bravehearts now the better part of a season and a half. 6 home runs, 18 RBI, 5 doubles.
There's Cogshell right in the back there. You see a perfect shot of him from that standpoint. That camera in there for a strike, and the count evens up at 2-2. Well, there's Mike Cogshell right over the right shoulder.
And he told us on opening night he was here, and he's ready to go. Healthy, ready to go. He's just looking for a place to play. And
Keiko, sharp shot down the first base line. Ryan Sullivan's there, makes the play, and the leadoff batter is retired.
Cogshell says he's not officially, or at least he's not listed on the Nashua Silver Knights roster that we have in front of us, but it would appear that he's about to be activated.
John Friday, another local product, stands in for Worcester. Yeah, Cogshell, unfortunately, I mean, just had 2 great seasons here in Worcester. Last year having another phenomenal year. They were up at a party in Lowell, and the deck that they were all standing on collapsed. Cogshell fell and really messed up his wrist. Fly ball caught by Ted Williams going back onto the outfield grass. But it was very unfortunate. He missed his entire season last year at Assumption College. Was granted a red shirt and will come back to play his final year of eligibility. Here's Brett Koffel, the catcher. Koffel, first pitch swinging, fouls it back.
Koffel's a good aggressive guy at the plate. Pretty good pop, bottom of the order here, 245 hitter. Does have a couple home runs, but he attacks the baseball.
In there for a strike, and Githens is ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Had a home run last night. DH'd in the first game of the doubleheader against Brockton. Hit a home run, swing and a miss. And he strikes out now. He's going to run as the ball gets away. They throw down to first. Sullivan with a nice grab. A 1-2-3 inning for Tom Githens. Top of the 3rd coming up next. There's Mike Cogshell right there. Cogs always has a great do. Former quarterback at Shrewsbury High School, and has had a great college career and a great great career with the Bravehearts until that injury. Unfortunate last year, and a few guys got hurt in that.
Little delay here to start the inning. Koffel, the catcher, made the last out, so they had to kind of slow down the warm-up a little bit to let Brett get his equipment back on, and we're just about set to go here in the top of the 3rd. Hodgson with 3 Ks through his first couple innings of work. You mentioned it, Kev, even coming out of a high prep school type high school look and coming in playing in a league against a lot of college guys.
Yeah, you're still going to be wide-eyed.
Still wide-eyed.
No, you definitely are. Here's the top of the order. Teddy ball game, Ted Williams. And Walraven, the dive, can't get it. It's under the glove, and the leadoff batter, Ted Williams, is on base again. He walked in the first and now singles here in the third.
And of course hit his first home run here as a professional in 30-something?
One of the most famous
That was
pictures.
the other Ted Williams.
Yep, one of the most famous pictures out there. You see it certainly in many offices here at Holy Cross.
They're going to check on Walraven. He went into the dive, lost his glove, may have landed funny on his wrist there. You can see him kind of, to our television viewers, you can see him kind of working his wrist around. Trainer out there with J.P. Pine, and the infield gathered around Walraven.
And that's what he was hurt last year. He hurt his wrist and battled through it, and they were so excited that he was healthy again. The way he was playing, he's a gamer, he's a tough kid. There's he and Dante Ricciardi out there. Look at Walraven, says, I'm good. He's got the wrist taped up, flexing it. Yeah, he said he just rolled it over. You can see he's showing how he rolled it over.
That was a sharply hit ball by Williams to get through the dive of Walraven. Good piece of hitting. Second hit on the evening for the Silver Knights.
Cam Cook, Nichols College Bison. Great to see the Nichols baseball program elevating too, and just what they've been able to do the last couple of years in their league playoffs, and you know, a lot of postseason run for the Bison. And it gets past Koffel, and Williams hit second and took a little turn.
Well, it was a little bit of a delay. You got a signal from Cook that you should go. Ball didn't get too far away from Koffel, but he lost track of where it was. Williams runs pretty well, got the second easily.
The NHL draft is tonight. We'll keep an eye on that.
Already got a little inside information.
Yeah, we did.
At the Railers office earlier this afternoon.
No one from the Kamloops Blazers are going to be drafted.
Not tonight.
Maybe, though, we're going to check in maybe the Sarnia Sting, Sault Ste. Marie, the Ontario Hockey League. I believe the London Knights won the Canadian Hockey League championship, which is so huge over there. It's every league. So you have the Ontario League, the Western League. Those are the two biggest ones, but there's other ones as well. And it was the third year in a row that the Ontario Hockey League had captured that championship, which is just a huge deal. The Memorial Cup, a huge deal in Canada.
You're just showing off at this point.
I love the Canadian
knowledge.
I love minor league hockey.
Minor league hockey.
I believe that we'll have to ask Linker about this, but I thought that Kurt Gogol was a Sarnia Sting alum. That used to be one of my favorite things, looking at the game notes at the Sharks games and looking at the minor league, where they played. Of course, go right to the penalty minutes, look to see who's there, and then see where they were drafted.
Well, Kyle Banicki's up in a pretty good spot here. Nobody out, runners at first and second. He squared a bunt on the first pitch and fouled it back. Nashua looking to put another one on the board here, leading 1-0.
Sharply hit to center field, and what a nice diving catch there by Trevor Johnson. Johnson laying out, and he took away extra bases and certainly prevents at least one run.
That ball slicing away off the left-handed bat from Johnson in center, who ranges into left center, and goes into a kind of a semi-dive to make the catch. That one gets by. It's going to run to the fence.
Ryan Sullivan, the cleanup hitter. Big bat in the lineup. As we mentioned, he's in his 5th year, which is a rarity. A 5-year guy playing in the Futures League, because you have to be a college player, but he's got a red shirt from his college, so he's going back. So J.P. Pine coached him actually with Nashua. He was one of the managers at the time, and he said he always jokes with him and says, has he got his pension yet from the league? He's been in there so many years. Pine is the 3rd winningest manager in Silver Knights history. 3rd in the wins all time, 34 wins. Been on both sides of this rivalry. They got a good stadium up there, Holman, historic Holman Stadium. You and I have been up there. And the ball gets away, and both runners advancing. And now you have 2 in scoring position for Sullivan. And this is what has hurt the Bravehearts this season, is the errors.
Yeah, they've had some pitchers escape big innings, but you can only do so much if you make mistakes behind them. But that one maybe on the pitcher. Hodgson putting one in the dirt.
So Sullivan, dangerous at the plate, 1-2 count. With 2 on and only 1 out.
Essentially, they got their sacrifice. Panicki squared that first pitch and then ended up lining one to center, but they get the runners over with less than 2 outs.
Sullivan swinging a miss. Koffel knocks it down, throws to first, so the strikeout. Now there's 2 outs.
Second time he got Sullivan via the K. 4th now for Hodgson.
Anthony Maduri.
And he's a batter away of trying to escape this one after putting the first 2 batters aboard with a hit and a walk.
So here's Anthony Maduri. Rounded out to the pitcher in the first.
Yeah, he's
and
throwing.
He did go.
You mentioned his litany of pitches, Hodgson. He is throwing that breaking ball down and away from right-handed batters. So far, it's giving Nashua fits.
The 0-1 count. Inside. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. I believe one of your favorite players might have been from the London Knights. Remember Henderson?
Oh yeah, Hendu.
Hendu was one of your favorites.
Played for the Sharks.
Yeah.
Who's this bender? I believe that's what he said about one Kevin Shea, who was posing as a practice player for the Sharks that year.
That was it. Him and Dan De Silva. Who is this bender? That's
this
one of the
bender?
Great lines I'd never heard before in my life.
Hendu, yeah, great kid.
1-2 pitch coming to Maduri. Jack Hodgson with 2 on. The freshman to be at BC outside. Ball 2.
Well, I mean, he displays just a composure and willingness to work the zone against these hitters, trying to get them to chase outside that time on the 1-2. Suffice it to say, BC may have a good one coming.
6'2", 190, Hodgson. In the air to right field. Jensen going back and makes the catch. 2 steps in front of the warning track. Nashua threatens. They strand 2. After 2.5, it's 1-0 Silver Knights.
Bravehearts baseball on Shutter TV3 is brought to you in part by Cantiani Insurance. Beautiful night at the ballpark. Expecting a sellout or maybe even more so. 4,000 crowd of 4,000 expected. And the Bravehearts continue to lead the league in attendance, more than 2,100 per game, tops in the Futures League.
Pat DeMarco, another high school kid. He's going to Vanderbilt next year and was a 24th round selection of the New York Yankees in the draft. A guy that would have gone a lot higher had he not been so committed to Vanderbilt. He was a guy that there was teams, supposedly the Cubs were a team that asked, how much is it going to take to sign you?
Well, he was
they were looking at him in the top 5-6 rounds.
Yeah, he was projected by some draft experts to be a top 5 round guy. What is that lure of Vanderbilt?
I know.
It's a heck of a program, a great school. It got Tyler Beatty.
And Beatty turned down a couple million.
Worked out well for him.
DeMarco's a guy they can move up and down the lineup. Like what he gives them. He's only been here about a week. Mike Trout body type. Strong.
He's a superstar in Staten Island, by the way. A lot of write-ups in Staten Island on this kid.
He did go, so the strikeout for Githens as he gets the leadoff batter to Marco. So Githens has a strikeout in each inning, the 3 total, and now Dante Ricciardi, the number 9 hitter, coming to the plate.
Mentioned Cantiani Insurance, one of our sponsors. Want to say hi to Mr. C. Miss him at the
I know,
ballpark.
we haven't seen him in a long time.
One of the greats of Worcester, Paul Cantiani.
Need to get to a Chinese buffet with Paul Cantiani.
It's been a long time since the club has convened.
Such a good guy. With he's done such a great job through the years. You look at all that he has done in Worcester. He was instrumental in bringing professional baseball to Worcester, the Bravehearts. He was the head of the Parks and Recs department for years. He coached football at Assumption College. He's done it all. Back-to-back strikeouts for Githens, who's finding his groove.
He's a strikeout artist over his first 2 starts, and now starting to build him up a little. His 4th. Little backdoor breaking ball over the outside corner. It gets Ricciardi.
Top of the order, Trevor Johnson. First pitch swinging on the ground to short. Kyle Banicki is there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Githens. After 3 complete, it is 1-0 Nashua. Janig will lead it off for the Silver Knights when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. Hanover Insurance Park, Fitton Field. The Bravehearts and the Silver Knights, a rematch of last year's championship series. Worcester won the championship in their first 2 years of existence. Last year they made it to the championship round again and lost in the championship series to Nashua. In their only meeting this year, they beat them 3-0. They lead the all-time series 11-7. Nashua's playing some good ball. Worcester coming off that doubleheader sweep yesterday of the Brockton Rocks. First place team, the coaches, the manager hoping that that would give them, those 2 wins would be the kind of the impetus that they need to kind of really kickstart them in going on a run. And all of them feel that this is a team that could easily go on and roll off 8 in a row, 10 in a row. Hodgson gets the strikeout of the leadoff batter, Janig.
Well, he's getting all the righties away. He's getting them to chase that breaking ball away and working the outside edge of the plate against right-handers. And he's done a nice job so far with Bodette at the plate.
Teddy Bodette, he'll leave the light on. Koffel ranging, and called off at the last minute by John Friday, the third baseman, who makes the catch. And this has been a very economical inning so far in terms of pitches.
Yeah,
for
no
Jack
question.
Hodgson.
Well, we just saw one for Githens on the other side, a quick inning, and Bravehearts would like nothing more than to do the same here, get back into the dugout and try to hit.
Friday from Southborough making the catch in foul territory. And Hodgson comes upstairs with a fastball.
Saw McDermott, he came to the plate a little bit, took his time getting to the plate. You don't want to get that pitcher into a rhythm. Slow this inning down a little bit if he can, but he swings through at that one.
Yeah, Hodgson's ready to work. Look at him, he's jumping at the bit, right on the rubber.
Yeah.
Wants to go. McDermott with a little gamesmanship.
Yeah, this is
steps
good
out.
stuff. This is good stuff.
Try to throw his timing off. Hodgson coming in with a fastball. Johnson on his horse. It's a deep shot. One hopper up against the wall. And McDermott cruises into second with a 2-out double.
I'll tip your hat to the batter, McDermott. He played the game, got a pitch he liked, and he just drilled it to the fence in right center. Left that one out a little bit too much over the inner half of the plate and got into it. See McDermott, he comes in, he's going to slow the inning down a little bit, try to get the guy, get him out of his rhythm, and now he's in scoring position with 2 down.
Cam Cruz, the number 9 batter for Nashua, on the ground to third. Friday, strong throw over to first, and a good stretch by Kaczynski. The 2-out double. Nashua threatens, but they strand one. Welcome back, everyone. Nashua and Worcester We are in the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 1-0 Nashua. Mariano Ricciardi replacing Tom Walraven. Walraven hurt his wrist. Diving, here's Ricciardi laying down a bunt. It's a good one. It's going to take a heck of a play, and he beats it out. Ricciardi with a bunt for a hit to start off the bottom of the 4th. Mariano Ricciardi just finished up his high school career at Worcester Academy. He and his brother Dante had great careers at Worcester Academy. His father, J.P. Ricciardi, the special assistant to the general manager of the New York Mets, and one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
Mariano had to use every bit of his speed to get that one.
Mariano diving back to first. He's aggressive, and they like that. Look at him getting right back out there on the lead.
So
Walraven,
though, clearly had to be a little bit dinged up.
Yeah.
Taken out of the lineup after going for that ground ball early in the game.
And remember, again, he hurt his wrist last year. He was dealing with a wrist injury all season. J.P. Pine saying how excited he was that Walraven was healthy this year, and how he's an all-star for us this year, the way he's played, and great to have him healthy. And then it was a wrist injury last year.
I don't know. I haven't seen every box score. If there's been a time when both Ricciardis have been in the infield together.
You know what? I would venture to say no.
Usually they replace each other.
That's right. Big
Both
swing and a miss for
basemen.
Trevor Jensen. And now the sun has come through, and we have a beautiful sky to our left over the Rotmans building. The sun's there. The clouds have cleared. Beautiful night here for baseball. Packed house, too. And the energy, these guys feed off the energy of this ballpark and the fans. And when you have a night like this and you have so many young kids in the crowd, and they'll get excited and start stomping their feet and cheering and yelling, and it's just, it's electric, and these guys will feed off it. It really picks them up.
Yeah, J.P. Pine told us this week, as a downpouring rain was hitting the clubhouse outside, that he really thinks there's a clear home field advantage here for the Bravehearts. And, you know, other stadiums have it as well, but not every place in the Futures Collegiate League has that.
No, swing and a miss, and the count goes full to Jensen at 3 balls and 2 strikes. No, which kind of makes it impressive what Wachusett's doing. The Dirt Dogs, because it's not, they don't have this kind of an atmosphere in this kind of a stadium, and they've ripped off like 8 of their last 9. I mean, they're playing great ball. Throw over to first, Mariano Ricciardi, back standing.
Well, I'm sure if you asked Dan Gennarelli about home field advantage, he'd say, well, you don't need home field advantage necessarily in this league. You don't need it if you're winning, that's for sure.
That's true. And Jensen draws the walk. So a bunt by Mariano Ricciardi for a single, a walk from Jensen, and the first 2 runners are on here in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, and Githens had retired 8 in a row prior to the bunt single from Ricciardi.
That's the first hit of the game.
Yeah.
For the Bravehearts was that bunt single. Now an opportunity for Worcester. Greg Kaczynski, the bedrock of the lineup. He played against the University of Florida in the regionals when he was at Marist this spring, and they said had some real good at-bats against Florida and the Gators. What an experience that had to be. Florida perennial power, national power. Kaczynski.
Yeah, Marist had a great season this past year
The
to
Red
get themselves in.
Colin O'Rourke played lacrosse at Marist.
At Marist?
Yeah, he was Marist. He was lacrosse at Marist.
A lot of great Central Mass athletes. My man from Southbridge went down there and played some good football there.
Oh, that's right. One of the all-time greatest. One of the hardest hitting safeties. Wow, Jake Toporowski, we're told, from Uxbridge playing football down at Marist. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. It was a great free safety. Tyler Ramsey.
Tyler Ramsey.
Yes.
That kid,
man, he could
hit.
Stick people.
He could hit, man. I'll see him on Thanksgiving. That's when I see him. I see him once a year.
Well hit to right field. This one carrying back off the top of the wall. Kaczynski round in second, going for third. Here comes Ricciardi to the plate. Here comes Jensen to the plate. And the Worcester Bravehearts have taken a 2-1 lead off the strength of Greg Kaczynski's double.
Well, Kaczynski misses a home run by maybe 3 feet. This ball is drilled on a line to right, and it hits just feet, maybe a foot below the yellow boundary. And Jensen was chasing Ricciardi to the plate. He scored right on his heels.
He absolutely tattooed that ball. And now you have Joe Keiko in the ever dangerous player, a guy who leads the league in home runs, second in RBI. Coming into this inning, the bottom of the fourth, Worcester had been held hitless.
Well, here you go. Second time through the lineup, second look at the pitcher. Guys made their adjustments and a little more success so far.
2-1 Worcester lead. Greg Kaczynski with a bullet off the top of the wall. Driving in Ricciardi and driving in Jensen as well. Swing and a miss. 2-1 the count to Joe Keiko. Again, Keiko's a guy who is dealing with injuries. He's been nicked up coming off of his college season. He's been banged up a little bit, so they've been DHing him a lot instead of playing him in the field.
That was a healthy swing there. I think he was looking for a 2-bagger on that pitch.
Oof. And that fastball just tailing away on the lefty. Tough pitch.
Good challenge from Githens. It's been dinged up a little here and still coming at guys.
2-2, the count to Keiko. Kaczynski at second, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. Bravehearts have already struck for 2. They were looking outside again. You can see the catcher, Teddy Bodette, at the last minute setting up outside. They're trying to get Joe to chase a little bit.
He just can't quite lay off that pitch.
No.
Up and out. Just didn't get a piece of that one.
They haven't thrown one down in the zone on him yet. They've been trying to get him to chase a little higher outside. See if they do. There it is. Drop it down low, trying to change the eye level and the hands of the hitter.
Our umpire in the field tonight, Worcester's Matty Ball.
There's a great guy, Matty Ball.
15 years ago on the Jesse Burkett All-Stars. Went to Williamsport, and what a memorable run. Matt Ball was on that team. Does a lot of umpiring, college and high school baseball, and now we're in the Futures League.
And coaches, too, on the AAU circuit. He's a coach and teaching the game to young kids. Keiko strikes out with the Heat. And now John Friday will come to the plate. You and I saw Andy Fallon last night playing for Ronnie's Rex. Think of the members of that team.
Andy Fallon can play. He can still play.
I know he can.
He's a hard-nosed player.
One of the leaders of that team. Hard to believe that was 15 years ago. You and I were young men. John Friday. I still think we're going to have to find a couple, because I do have some of the videos of there. We'll have to put them up online or maybe even on YouTube. Kind of turn back the clock and show some of those reports.
We were down there. We went for 3 days, stayed for 10.
I think we thought we were going to be 2. We thought we were going to go down there
for like an overnight.
Yeah, thought we were going to go down there. Our uppers thought, okay, go there. You'll see them lose 2, and then you come right back right away. And they just kept winning and winning and winning. It was, oh man, it was so much fun. So much fun for us. And those group, well, we saw Tom Daly coaches the Maine South Legion team. You know, we still see some of those guys around. Fran Granger, Chris Doyle. Friday strikes out. Fran Granger was the manager. Chris Doyle was another one of the coaches. Boy, weren't they great?
They were awesome. What an experience. It's still probably the highlight.
Yeah. No, that was the best.
Me.
That was the best.
I mean, we put a lot of business into the local Walmarts buying underwear and shirts to keep us clothed for the remainder of the week.
We were the Hanes Riders.
There were a couple of establishments that we frequented that business was good for them.
Great chicken wings. There was a whole group from Worcester that descended upon Williamsport. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
You think we'll get invited to the reunion if they have one, Kev?
I do think we would get invited.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a ton of fun. It was so hot too. You and I doing live
hot.
shots,
running
and toweling
down.
off. Going
I don't
from
think. Yeah.
like it was at least a third of a mile.
Essentially,
a quarter of a mile,
Lamedy
third of a mile.
Stadium is like built on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
It seems like we were hiking uphill.
At the beginning of the newscast, we'd have a live shot up top. Then we would have to sprint down all the way through the field to a different field down below.
They were our
to
producers,
a second live truck.
Our producers at our partner stations were basically pawning us off from live truck to live truck. So we were just getting favors done from different people.
Swing and a miss. Koffel.
New York won at one shot and CBS on another shot. And
it's true.
Like, guys, how come you're not doing another one with us? I
don't know. We're not in charge of that.
One guy had a hotel towel because you had to towel off.
I did.
It was so hot, and we sprinted down between shows.
Oh, it was great.
Wow,
in there for a strike. So Giffen strikes out the side, but the Bravehearts strike. They get 2. After 4 complete, it's Worcester 2 and Nashua nothing.
Bravehearts Baseball on Charter TV3 is brought to you in part by the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia.
All right, so here we go. Top of the 5th inning. Jack Hodgson. We'll have to tell Father Leo Shea. We'll have to see if we could get him in here for a game. Get him back in the booth. But we'll have to tell him about Hodgson going to Boston College, where he will play on Shea Field. No relation to us, but Father Leo Shea getting the honorary degree from Boston College this spring. So we were at the presidential luncheon afterwards, and Chris O'Donnell, the actor, was there. So the ladies were all looking at him, and then we started the For Boston song and sang it, and had some of the alums and folks from the board of directors around there joined in with us. My cousin Tim Dolan started it, and we all know it because it's been drilled into us since we were young kids. It was probably the first song we all learned from my grandfather.
See, in Boston, Chris O'Donnell, but if that was a college in the Worcester area, people were like, hey, Kevin Shea's here. Oh, my goodness. Let's get our picture taken with him.
That's great. You and Ryan O'Rourke be tuning me up now that I'm on the Twitter sphere. I can see the
no question
handing out pictures. He's got them in his trunk. I love it. O'Rourke's great.
Did get clarification from Worcester baseball guru statistician at 210 Sports, Daryl Hunt. This is the 3rd time the Ricciardi brothers have been in the lineup together.
Daryl, outstanding.
Daryl's got it all.
Now, Daryl's got to be watching the NHL draft, too.
Daryl's probably, if he's not here,
tell him
he's
to check in with you a little
watching.
bit. You're right, he's probably here. Probably here at the game. So Dante Ricciardi's moved over to short. Mariano, his younger brother, takes his spot at second. So middle of the infield, Ricciardi and Ricciardi. Sounds like a law firm. They are great, though. And again, we said this, so many times. Their dad, JP, former basketball coach at Holy Name High School, and just is such a down-to-earth, such a great guy.
Told us tonight to make sure we pronounced our R's. And there he is. There's JP. He's not going to be happy we're showing him. But
he's outstanding.
He's at the ballpark. Gets here as often as he can to see his boys play.
Ted Williams draws the leadoff walk.
Ted Williams has been on base all 3 times tonight that he's appeared at the plate. A couple walks and a single.
He's a guy that very quietly behind the scenes, JP has helped so many kids, so many guys. Always there to help, and does a great job. And his wife Diane, obviously,
this is trouble.
Phenomenal job. They got him.
Nice job by Mariano.
Just moving over to first base. They've done a tremendous job of raising their 2 boys. Cam Cook eliminated on a very close play.
Well, good job by Mariano Ricciardi to get over there. See, it's kind of in no man's land there. The pitcher's a little bit in the way, and a quick flip. Great effort by Cook. He's trying to get on board again. But he gets the job done, moves the runner to second. 1 out.
Kyle Banicki Such a great hitter. Hodgson comes inside on him. Can't overstate, too, just the great job that J.P. Pine has done at Clark University. 2 years ago, set the program record for wins, and then this year they shattered that this spring. Panicki, a big part of it. Here's Ricciardi at short. Strong throw over to first. 2 down. Williams moves up to third. But JP's done such a great job, and JP Pine, and I think probably one of the biggest things he does, and when you talk to players and coaches, they all say he's such a great communicator. He's so good. Such a great communicator. Another great baseball guy checking in.
Manager of the Tatnick Senior Youth Squad.
Yeah.
Eric Goldstein. BC fan.
Got the Eagles mailbox.
He's happy about this Hodgson performance because it's going to be a good one for the Eagles. Goldstein sees more baseball games than probably anyone in Central Mass. Coaching, umpiring.
He's at a diamond every single day.
His family is looking for him probably right now.
Yes. They know he's at a baseball game.
They'll just check what field, okay.
Yep.
Check another field, okay.
I think one of his sons is here.
He is.
Helping out with the Bravehearts.
Drew's here.
Yeah, one of the Goldstein boys. Pitch gets away. Here comes Ted Williams to the plate, and he slides in safely, and we're tied up at 2. Williams, ball popped up, didn't get too far, but it hopped up in the air. Koffel didn't know where it was. And Williams just aggressive, coming to the plate the whole way. As the pitch got away.
Yeah, that's the second one. This one hurts him. Gets away from the catcher. They had one last inning that moved the runners along, but they were able to escape.
They're going to go discuss some signs, I think.
Yeah, maybe. They might be a little crossed up. Williams, I tell you, runs the bases well. He got on top of that one quickly. Saw him the last time he was at the plate. He took second quickly on a ball. That's the third one really that's gotten away from the catcher, Koffel.
No,
tough to tell, tough to really assess blame on all three.
And if you're Koffel, I mean, this is why we tell people, this is why that baseball, it's always nicknamed the tools of ignorance. That one gets up and away. The catching equipment, because you look at the balls coming in, high 80s, low 90s, taking a one hop, and Koffel's got to get over and get in front of it and block it with his body. That is tough duty. Casey Cummins, the pitching coach, going to go out and talk to Jack Hodgson.
And J.P. Pine got up, motioned down to his bullpen to get somebody going here in the 5th.
Look at Casey's great. His father, a longtime scout.
Yeah, Casey's a great baseball guy. Cummins family, all of them.
Yeah. Good Auburn family.
Oh yeah, well I'm not gonna you know, pump him up just because he's from Auburn, but that's a bonus. It's an added bonus.
It's true.
That's Brian Arbach down there, number 13 out of Rollins College, starting to stretch.
And Arbach's a guy, the Bravehearts have a lot of guys that were starters on their college teams that threw a fair amount of innings. They call them the high innings guys, that they've turned into relievers here, that they'll come in and they'll have them throw 1 or 2 innings just to kind of stretch it out.
Jack Riley, a local, and Jack Riley, a local's one of those guys. He's on a limited innings here in the summer.
Yep. And, you know, J.P. Pine is in constant contact, as Kevin Hardigan, Kevin Cummings, Casey Cummins. They're in constant contact with the college coaches for the guys that they have, and monitoring more the pitchers than the position players, but, you know, monitoring the number of innings and how they're doing. You know, and they'll work with them. You know, they're not, certainly they're there to work with them. They're not to say, hey, we need him. He's going to pitch 8 innings tonight if we need 8 innings, because they said they'll talk to the college coach. The college coach says, hey, can you shut him down? You know, can you stop, not throw him a lot? They said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll work with you. You know, they want to win, but they want to get these guys ready too for their college seasons. Maduri, chopper. Hodgson flips to first. Nashua gets one to tie it up. We are all tied up at 2 apiece. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It'll be Pat DeMarco, the high draft pick, and the kid who's going to Vanderbilt, who will lead it off for Worcester. Welcome back, everyone. Packed house here at Hanover Insurance Park. 2-2 the score between the Bravehearts and the Nashua Silver Knights. Last Saturday, these two teams played up in Nashua. It was a 3-0 win for Worcester. The teams combined for 6 hits total in that game. They've combined for 5 hits here tonight. 2 runs each. Jack Hodgson, the freshman to be at Boston College, has thrown 5 strong innings for Worcester. Tim Githens out of Northeastern University has done well for Nashua. They touched him up last inning, and Pat DeMarco, going to be a freshman at Vanderbilt, stings one into left field for a leadoff single.
Well, I still think this is a league that's tough for even a highly touted incoming freshman. And we're seeing 2 of them play at a high level here today, come in and make a difference. And it's a heck of a little piece of hitting to extend the bat head out barrel on the ball and knock that one in the left.
Here's Dante Ricciardi.
Ricciardi, of course, is one of those guys, and his younger brother Mariano is one of those guys now. But Dante came in right out of Worcester Academy.
Dante's
had a good year at the plate last year. Really improved year over year.
He was an all-star last year. He's going to Bryant University. And he's the guy that the coaching staff says we're waiting for him to get going again. And when he gets going again, you know, then we will all start to roll too. Well, but he's the guy too that played a ton of baseball. I mean, he went last year. He left like a couple days later, right after the championship. He left for school a couple days later. It wasn't even a week. It was literally a couple days, and they started playing down in Florida right away. And there's no limit for junior colleges on how many games you can play, practices in the fall and the spring. So they go all year round. So he probably was a little tired too when he first came back.
It's good to be young, though, Kev.
That's a good point.
Kind of recover. Yeah, I mean, he had to entertain campers and scouts in the pregame. He was doing all kinds of things, and you know, these guys, these Bravehearts, do camps, and they're busy throughout the day, and other players do a lot with the young kids that come to the game. And Dante was he was busy prior to this one.
He had a full lather. He had a full sweat. When I went down there to do the sports, he was drenched. His shirt was drenched with sweat. He goes, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I said, you got to go get some caffeine in there in the clubhouse. He goes, I'm going to get it right now. He goes, I'm absolutely gassed. He goes, I'm going to be gassed for this game. But you're right. It is good to be young. You can bounce back. Hey, you know, a couple hours sleep, bounce right up.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Do a 9-inning game with Kevin Shea.
Yeah.
See if he makes it.
Yep. See how Patty fades 7 through 9. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I think that's Kevin Shea. Let's get a picture.
We got 1 Pepsi Max. We got to do another one here coming up soon.
Not a sponsor, but they probably should be.
Yep, they definitely should
for
be.
The amount of beverage Kevin consumes. If you're listening out there in the land.
That's right.
Nice at bat from Dante to get on base. You know, he struck out his first at bat, gets on there. Now the Bravehearts with a couple on again to start the inning, just like last inning. They're starting to rustle a little bit down in the Nashua bullpen area. They were comfortably seated down there for the first 5 innings, 4+ rather.
Trevor Johnson 0 for 2 tonight. RBI situation. Chopper to third. Cook steps on third for 1, fires to first. Didn't get him at first. The throw pulled Sullivan off the bag. Sullivan, a smart play and a good scoop. But they do get the lead runner, so it was a good play by Cam Cook.
Now this one hit a little bit harder. It's a triple play ball almost. If he's a little closer to the bag, he has to kind of rush the throw and pulls the first baseman off the bag, so only gets 1. They do get the important lead out, as you mentioned. Bravehearts still with 2 on, and now Mariano Ricciardi, who had to bunt single, the first hit of the game for the Bravehearts, which led to the little rally last inning.
In for a strike on Mariano.
Hey, come on, Nano.
You're getting used to the wooden bat like you figure some of the college guys even are, but certainly a kid like Mariano, all the high school guys, all aluminum bats, and then you come into the wooden bat, it's certainly a different feel, and the way you hit, you know, you don't get that jump off the bat that you do with these new bats that the kids have.
When I was playing, I feel like I used a wooden bat all the time.
I did use one.
There was never any jump off the bat.
Yeah, that's how old I am, that we did use wooden bats in Little League. And then when we had an aluminum, it was like one aluminum bat, and it was literally a metal bat. It was like a thick aluminum bat, like you'd hit rocks with it, and then you'd hit, and it was one bat for the whole team.
I saw a game earlier this week, senior Ruth game. I'm not going to mention what team it was, but successive hitters. One kid singles to right, or thought he singled to right, gets thrown out by the right fielder. And then the next play, guy singles to right, has a stretch for a double, gets thrown out by the right fielder. And that reminded me of when I played baseball.
Whoa, hot shot. And it hit the fence right in front of the Worcester dugout.
Yeah, those
Evan
guys
Schackenbach,
didn't
our
have
man's
much
down
time
there too. No.
To get out of the way. See, and again, when I was playing, I wouldn't be able to get out of the way either. It was not as fleet of foot.
No, and I was with you.
So
I was a guy.
I was never thrown out singling to right, but I've definitely been thrown out stretching.
I was thrown out singling to right, and I remember my manager saying to me, my coach, only you would get thrown out. Hit one into the outfield and got thrown out. And it was rare that I ever hit one into the outfield, so I was feeling kind of good that I reached the outfield. But gunned down. Oh, I was so slow.
This is a good at bat for Ricciardi. He is battling away, extending it. He's fouled a couple of pitches off now. Not overawed by this pitcher out of Northeastern.
Grade 2. I mean, remember these kids when they were so young. Mariano and Dante, when we went up to Toronto, when JP was the general manager for Toronto, and followed him around for a weekend. And again, he opened up the whole place to us. The ballpark, he said, it's yours. You go wherever you want, do whatever you want. One morning he was down there throwing underneath in the batting cages. He was throwing to Mariano and Dante. At the time, they were probably like 6 and 4, something like that. But you think of what they grew up around, major leaguers and going to different ballparks. It shows too, just with the maturity. I mean, you and I talked about that when Dante did his senior project with us for Worcester Academy. Just a real mature kid.
Mariano has great intensity.
Oh, yeah.
Dante might be a little bit more laid back. Mariano's got some great intensity.
He is battling. This is a great battle.
Another one off. He's making Githens earn it here.
Yeah, he certainly is. One out.
They are
bottom of the 5th.
They've got a reliever up. He hasn't really started throwing in haste yet. Nashua.
2-2 game. Payoff pitch. Ricciardi fouls that one back.
I'll tell you,
this is
as a pitcher, this is maddening.
Yeah, I was going to say this is like one of those. Remember, Chuck Knobloch would have those 12 pitch, 13 pitch at bats in the Yankees when they were winning those World Series in the late 80s, early 90s. This is what they did. They would wear pitchers out. See a lot, and then the Red Sox, the first year they won in '04, same thing.
Saw a lot of pitches.
Yeah, Mariano's done a really nice job. And he draws the walk. A great at bat from Mariano Ricciardi. Draws the walk. The bases are loaded now for Trevor Jensen with just one out.
Jensen's a good guy to have at the plate. 13 RBI, good contact hitter though. Jensen coming into tonight, 55 at bats, had only struck out twice.
That's great.
He's a guy who finds the baseball.
Scored the second run of the game. Kaczynski's double. And as you mentioned, Jensen was flying around the bases. He was trying to catch Mariano Ricciardi. So now you have Dante Ricciardi at third. And Trevor Johnson at second. And Mariano Ricciardi at first. It is an all Central Mass squad that's on the bags. Well, actually, Central Mass connections, because Trevor Johnson's from Rye, New York, but again, with his father being from Worcester and his grandfather from Worcester, grandparents from Worcester. That's who he's staying with this summer. 1-1 pitch coming to Trevor Jensen. Good opportunity for Worcester here. Outside, misses, 2-1. Hitters count now. Chance for Worcester with a single to really put some distance here between themselves and Nashua in the middle innings. And the pitch gets away, and Dante will stay right there. Nice job by Teddy Beaudet. He really pounced on that quickly, the catcher. Love the Nashua uniforms, too. You and I haven't really had a chance to talk about that, but I love these patriotic uniforms that Nashua is bringing out here tonight. USA on the front.
It's basically like a camo American flag uniform. Nashua's always had some good stuff. They've always had some good gear.
At one point, they had the full-on camo.
We're going to bring the. We're going to get a look at the picture here.
Yeah, I think they think it's a medical thing. That's why they're bringing out the home plate umpire.
Going to see what's up as he's behind 3-1 with the bases full. Manager for the Nashua Silver Knights is B.J. Neverett. His brother calls play-by-play on the radio for the Red Sox. We've got a pitching change coming from the ballpark. We'll take a break and be back with Bravehearts baseball. Bravehearts threatening here in the fifth.
New pitcher for the Nashua Silver Knights as they bring in the left-hander.
It's like Justin Snyder out of Georgetown, Mass, Bryant University.
He'll be teammates with Dante Ricciardi next year.
So an injury to the starter, Githens, trainer for the Bravehearts, went in and checked him out during the break. Snyder, 5.40 ERA in 4 appearances for Nashua.
Georgetown's a nice area up there on the North Shore. They got hit today with some weather. 6'1", 190. And
one pitch walk in a run.
Walks Jensen. The go-ahead run comes in. Dante Ricciardi steps on home, and it's 3-2 Worcester.
Well, he's in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Inheriting a 3-1 count.
Yep.
First pitch out of the bullpen is a ball.
Now he's got Greg Kaczynski.
Still just 1 out. Kaczynski hit that missile off the right field fence his last at-bat, which was last inning.
Kaczynski knew, what time is it? Missile time.
Good Coggeshall. Has he moved?
Cog's getting a lot of good airtime.
Has he moved yet?
No, he has not.
He knows where the camera is.
Yeah, he does.
Shrewsbury people, like, hey, there's Mike.
Yeah, he's getting text messages. Cog, see you on TV. You look great. The haircut looks great.
Assumption folks are like, well, there's Cogs. He's soaking up the sun over there, or the limelight.
Greg Kaczynski, the first baseman. 2 ribbies in this game, as Andy mentioned, with a missile off the top of the wall. Just missed a home run. 1-1 count to Kaczynski with the bases full. Fouls that one straight back. Without a netting, we might have had a play on that one.
Yeah, it would have been right in the window. Well, blame Mariano Ricciardi for grinding this game to a halt here in the fifth with that long at-bat.
It was moving along
An
really
effective
nice.
at-bat for the Bravehearts. Well, that one just missed on the edge. Kaczynski laying off it.
Trevor Johnson at third, Mariano Ricciardi at second, and Trevor Jensen at first. All the ducks on the pond for Greg Kaczynski, the cleanup hitter for Worcester. Bravehearts with a 3-2 lead. Missed it outside, and the count goes full. Good at bat from Kaczynski, who was behind on the count 1-2, and has worked it full.
You know, he's a good hitter, hits for average, and, you know, it's got to be good because you get up there and you just unleash a missile last at bat. You're probably chomping at the bit to drive in some more RBI here.
Payoff pitch. He called a strike. I thought it was outside and high.
Yeah, no, he got the call 2 pitches ago on the edge. He did not get that call. Umpire like this one. Let's see. 3-2 pitch. That's way off the plate. Looked like from here.
Yeah.
I think the 2-2 pitch or the 1-2 pitch was a lot closer than that one.
Certainly looked at J.P. Pine. Good demeanor, chop foul by Keiko. Pine got thrown out a couple games ago.
Now listen, if Matty Ball was behind the plate and he called that, I'd say, all right, good call, Matty Ball.
It's true. We would have no problem with it.
Good call, Matty Ball.
Nope.
Worcester guy.
He is great. He's outstanding. J.P. Pine, we've talked about this before, though, phenomenal, too, that he's coaching third, and he's halfway between third and home and about 3 steps away from the dugout.
And his back is to the plate with a lefty up.
That's a good point. It's in the shooter's position, really, for us.
Yeah.
We would not have that going on.
The shooter's position for us at Charter TV3 covering high school and college sports a lot of times puts us in harm's way.
Yes.
Unless you're Sean Grady, who shoots from like a blimp outside of the ballpark. And he explained it to me. He's like, listen, I am of an age, I am of a wisdom now. I am not going to expose myself or the camera to that risk.
That's great.
He made a salient point, Kev.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I'm of that age, but clearly not of the wisdom yet. Keiko fouls this one back. Good shot for a young fan to get a souvenir.
I'll tell you what, Keiko with an opportunity here, though, but with an 0-2 count coming, if Nashua can get out of this with just giving up the run,
yeah,
they'll consider themselves very fortunate.
Missed it. A ball and 2 strikes. Keiko, the way he has been hitting this year for Worcester, just in this game he's due. He had a big home run for him yesterday and continues to be an RBI machine for Worcester. Bases loaded. 1-2 pitch coming.
That's it.
In there for a strike. So Nashua does a phenomenal job. Worcester gets 1, but they leave him loaded after 5 complete. The Bravehearts in front of the Silver Knights, 3-2. Welcome back, everyone. 3-2 Worcester, top of the 6th inning. Kevin Shea alongside Andy Lacombe. Thank you for watching on Charter TV3, or if you're listening on the radio on WTAG. Brian Arbach is the new pitcher for the Worcester Bravehearts out of Rollins College down in Florida. 91 miles an hour is his fastball. Tall kid, he throws a changeup that sinks late. Good slider, he has good command. He said the changeup's a real tough pitch because it comes right up on the hitters and then it dives late. Breaking ball to start things off here in the top of the 6th against Andrew Janig. Janig went to BC High out of Quincy, the city of presidents. Quincy, Mass.
Yeah, a lot of guys, as we mentioned, play their college ball right here in the city or surrounding area on this Nashua team, and Janig picks up where he left off at Assumption College with a base hit.
Yeah, he hit that one on the screws. Good job waiting, staying back on the breaking ball. Janig's uncle, Dan Janig, is an anchor at WJAR, where our former own Tim McCone works down there in the sports department.
Well, we closed the book on Jack Hodgson. Gave up the 2 runs. Struck out 5 through 5.
That's a good outing.
Yeah,
that's a really good outing.
Janig is being pinch run for over there at first base. You give Dan Janig a shout out, and now they have Bryce Walker into pinch run for Andrew Janig.
Walker from Milford, New Hampshire, going to Hartford. Plays at Hartford, rather.
Dan Janig.
Yeah, Dan Janig.
He was at my first project at Syracuse University as a student. I had to pick a favorite reporter, and I picked Dan Janig.
Oh, that's great.
Because I liked some of his reports that I watched over the summer, and I had to summarize what I liked about Dan Janig. I've never met Dan Janig. He was in Boston and then in Providence, back and forth.
Dan Janig's brother-in-law I knew, Tom Leonard. And so I met Dan at a cookout years ago, early on in my career at Channel 3, like first year, second year. But Dan was great. It was great then, has always been great. And I saw him, the last time I saw him was actually in Connecticut at the Little League Regionals. Last time, that was years and years ago. It might have been that Burkett team, or if it wasn't, it was the next team to make the regionals a couple years later. Good guy, though, but it's certainly Andrew Janig has had a great career at Assumption College, and it's not done yet. Well, Arbach gets the strikeout.
Yeah, good hard line on the outside edge to get Bodette. 6th strikeout for Braveheart pitching.
Aiden McDermott, the batter, the left fielder. 1 for 2 with a double tonight. Arbach starts him off with a breaking pitch, the slider. McDermott talking to Brett Koffel, the catcher.
Quick check of the runner at first. This is, again, we talked about it throughout, but early on. You win 2 and you sweep a very good Brockton team last night. JP Pine talked about it last week. They got a really great win on the road. They came back and they lost that next game. Just looking for that momentum. Was it last night that kickstarts into tonight? Right now it's going well for the Bravehearts. Can they close and get a little bit of momentum going into the weekend?
Yeah, they're on the road for 2 straight after this. Bristol and then Wachusett. This one skied up in the air, foul territory. Kaczynski's looking for it. It's a tough sky to find it. And he does. It makes the catch in foul ground, and there are 2 away.
And McDermott, pretty dangerous hitter. Good to get him out of the way. He ripped that double off the center field fence, or up against the center field fence his last at bat. Kaczynski looked up as if to say, where's the baseball? Was able to find it late.
Now Cam Cruz, the number 9 hitter, the center fielder for Nashua. 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out and grounded out to third. In there for a strike, and that would be one that probably Nashua wouldn't agree with. Remember Nashua, what were they, the Nashua Invaders at one point or something like that? That was when Dan Duquette was the general manager. Duquette back in Major League Baseball with Baltimore.
There were some interesting times in the Can-Am League when teams would show up. The Traveling Grays would show up.
Yeah.
And Worcester became almost like Worcester had to wear the Traveling Grays.
That was great moments.
The final stanza of Worcester Tornadoes baseball.
Great 30 for 30 Channel 3 style we could do. Throw down to second. Beautiful throw from Koffel. And he did get, it looks like Walker did get under the tag, but that is a strong throw from Koffel. Initially, you looked at the jump that Walker got, and you're thinking he's got this.
Yeah, that throw catches up from Koffel in a hurry, but just under the tag from Mariano Ricciardi.
So now Bryce Walker gets himself into scoring position. Cam Cruz behind in the count of ball and 2 strikes. Ryan Arbach, who's from Florida, trying to get out of a jam here. Fastball got him on the outer edge. Cruz doesn't like it. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Arbach, and Worcester still leads at 3-2. All right, the running of the Bulls. This is Worcester Bravehearts style. All these kids got to run across the outfield in between innings, and it's a packed house. You have a lot of kids who are running across, and then they're got to try to get them off the field now. John Friday will lead it off for Worcester. Every Sunday this summer at 12 noon, we will be airing the Mooney All-Star Classic, the high school football all-star game that we broadcast last week. Good game, the last hurrah for so many high school football players from Central Mass, seniors that just graduated, most of whom it will be their final football game of their career. Some going on to college. Friday didn't like the call.
I think our home plate umpires expanded the zone a little bit here.
He might have. After
last
that
inning took a long time.
Yep. No one in the truck's going to complain about that. In the air to right field, and a nice running grab by Anthony Maduri. Friday gave it a ride. Kind of a quirky delivery here.
Well, again, inherited a tough situation, did Schneider, with bases loaded. And a 3-1 count. Threw a ball, gave up the lead, or gave up the tie, rather, gave Worcester the lead, and then proceeded to get out of the inning.
Brett Koffel, watch the delivery here, though. It's strange because normally a pitcher goes back and their arm is loose and it's bent. His arm goes back and it's almost straight. Watch this. It almost looks like you would wonder how he gets velocity on the pitch. See how it's kind of a strange delivery.
It's like a slingshot.
Yeah.
Well, mechanics is such a big part of pitching, and how long you can pitch for and how well you can pitch, I think a lot of times depends on not necessarily how good an athlete you are, how strong you are, how good your mechanics are.
You're right. How many innings you threw as a 10-year-old.
That is true. Again, a PSA. Probably don't want to pitch in back-to-back doubleheaders if you're 10 years old.
You don't. There was just an article in the New York Times about it. All the kids that get injured because of overuse. Popped up, and Cam Cook comes in, and Cook makes the grab. Made it interesting, but all's well that ends well for Cam Cook in Nashua as he snared it, 2 down.
Cook's got a great beard.
Yeah, you're right.
Again, wear a thick beard like that in the heat of the summer. That says something. Yeah, that is a major league beard. The truck says Bruce Sutter.
That's a great call. Bruce Sutter, one of the great relief pitchers in Major League Baseball.
Major league beard.
You're right, though. The heat, to have that kind of beard, that's just tough. That would not last with me.
No.
You'd have a day like today where it's real soupy and humid, and I'd say that's it. It's coming off. Here's Pat DeMarco. DeMarco singled in his last at bat and pops out to the pitcher. A 1-2-3 inning, top of the 7th coming up.
Bravehearts baseball on Charter TV3, brought to you in part by our friends at Cantiani Insurance here in Worcester.
So the Boston Bruins made their pick, 18th pick in the first round. They took Urho Vakanainen. We'll have to get some stuff on him. Our hockey expert, Tim Young, going to get some stuff on Urho Vakanainen, see what the Bruins have for their first pick in the first round. The New York Islanders, who are, of course, affiliated now with the Worcester Railers, traded their first-round pick. They got Jordan Eberle. Eberle was a phenomenal player. Vaakanainen's out of Finland. .6'1", 188 pounds, a defenseman. Well, the Bruins, a puck-moving defenseman. That's the way the game's played now. You know, you don't necessarily look for the big, brawny guys on the blue line anymore that are just going to stand people up. You want guys that can skate and move the puck. The Bruins certainly in need of a few of those. Slice down the line, foul into the bullpen area.
Scatters the bullpen.
Diving out of the way, playing musical chairs. Jordan Eberle going to team with John Tavares now for the New York Islanders. That's a potent offensive lineup. But the Worcester Railers could see some guys tomorrow that might be drafted by the Islanders in the late rounds. You never know, the guys, one or two of them could wind up here in Worcester.
Cup of coffee.
Yeah.
In the ECHL.
Sure. You could certainly see a young goalie too. They take a flyer on a young goalie in the 7th round or something like that. Send him here and see what he does for a little bit. Or they might move him up to Bridgeport or to New York. On the line, Dante Ricciardi makes the grab. The leadoff man is retired.
First time they got Ted Williams. He was 1 for 1 with 2 walks and a run scored.
Here's Cam Cook. Cook reached base in the 3rd inning on a walk. Struck out in the 1st. And grounded out. That little tweener, that slow roller that was fielded by Kaczynski at first and flipped to Ricciardi, Mariano Ricciardi, who was covering first from his second base position. Sliced foul. Ryan Arbach, the pitcher for Worcester, who has come on in relief. Chopper, Arbach will handle himself and flips to Kaczynski at first, and there are 2 away.
Five straight down now for the pitcher Arbach after giving up that leadoff hit. Try to make quick work. He'll have to get Kyle Banicki here. Banicki hit the ball hard in the 3rd inning, lining out to the center fielder, Johnson. But a dangerous, high batting average hitter out of Clark University.
Banicki looking at a 1-1 count. Swung on, actually hit it twice. Got it on the follow through as well. Only counts for 1 strike though.
2-stroke penalty in golf. TC Chen, US Open.
That cost him?
It hurt him in the round. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Strike 3, Arbach gets the strikeout. A 1-2-3 inning for Worcester. 7th inning stretch time from Hanover Insurance Park. The Bravehearts with a 1-run lead.
I absolutely loved every minute of playing high school sports and just the feeling of going into the locker room before a game and how cool it was coming out and the whole town's all around the field cheering, and it's just such a special feeling.
Played basketball and golf at Auburn High. I was the captain of both teams my senior year. For me, I learned a lot because I played high school sports when I was at Auburn High School.
I started back in March of 1997, and it was a lot different then. I was the only person in sports. We were shooting on VHS tapes.
I started in December of 2000. I was the assignment desk editor and the Health Watch reporter. I was also always a sports guy. You get paid to do things that you love to do, and for us, that's being on a ball field or a basketball court or just being around sports.
Our enthusiasm, I think, for sports is contagious, and everyone gets swept up in it. It shows in, I think, in our overall product in our sports, that everyone cares.
Welcome back, everyone. Great family atmosphere here at the ballpark tonight. So many families out to watch the Bravehearts and the Silver Knights. Worcester with a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. And the Cub Scouts will actually be camping out overnight here.
Yeah,
They'll
there
put the
are
tents out in the
tropical
outfield.
downpours forecasted for overnight.
You know what we never got a word on? We never got a word on Peterman's condition. But I do not see him here at the ballpark tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
He hasn't been through the booth. He's around, we're told.
Rumor is that he was hit with a foul ball last night in Brockton, and there was a picture of him in a hospital with a bandage around his head.
He was bandaged. It
A
was
red
like
badge of courage.
He was heavily bandaged. He looked like one of the traditional like the fife and drum guys from the Revolutionary War.
Yep.
One of them with the bandage on his head. That was Peterman.
The white cockade.
Well, it's good to know he's okay.
He's bloodied but unbowed.
But you never know with Peterman. It might be a hoax.
And that's the thing. You have to do your homework with Peterman. He's a guy that he likes the show. Worcester likes the show. You never know.
Doctored up his living room to look like an emergency room.
He's that kind of cat. We got the magnificent Comic-Con. The massive Comic-Con is in town.
Massive, yes.
So you never know. Peterman could show up, in a costume there. It could be a con costume.
Worcester's lucky to have him. And Amy.
That's
Peterman,
true.
Who works over at the DCU Center.
Dante Ricciardi leading it off here in the bottom of the 7th for Worcester.
Worcester's lucky to have Amy, but also Peterman's lucky to have Amy as well. Amy's not lucky to have Peterman.
That's a very good point.
It doesn't go that way.
No, that's a very good point.
Just to clarify. Again, the Bravehearts in special jerseys tonight. They're raising awareness about diabetes. I saw Adam Webster here earlier. I know it's a radio personality in central Massachusetts, and Webster does a lot of work for diabetes research and awareness.
Big swing and a miss. Johnson was taking aim at the seats.
A few years ago, I threw home run derby in the wiffle ball tournament at Camp Joslin, the Barton Center out in Oxford.
Right, for the kids
Does
with
a great
diabetes.
job with diabetes. They had a big group here at the ballpark earlier this week on Wednesday.
Go Fish Dan Kenny was out there with you, was he not?
Dan,
he does a lot,
Kenny,
I know, for that
him and his
organization
boys,
in that camp.
Him and his boys and the team they have, I think, has won that wiffle ball tournament several years in a row. Does a heck of a job. He's not just a fisherman.
No. That is a great resource for kids with diabetes, the Joslin camp.
Yeah,
Did you throw at anyone?
No, I wanted to. There were a couple of kids that were getting a little cocky.
You wanted to brush him back a little bit, knock him down. Johnson up the middle. Tough play, and he is safe, and Johnson called it himself. It would have been a really tough play for Bernicki, and he made it close. Johnson gave the safe call as he got down to first.
It's a hit. That ball hits the rubber off the mound, takes a high hop off the pitcher's mound, slows it down to get to Bernicki, who has to get a little crossed up just to get the baseball, and tough play. Johnson runs well. You know, they have another good leadoff type guy in Kevin Duty, who's not in the lineup today, so quick. Saw him steal a base earlier this week. Good to have that resource. Johnson. Bravehearts are in the middle of the pack team-wise in terms of stolen bases.
You're right, but they love Duty's speed. One of the manager, J.P. Pine, called him the fastest man in America. We have the fastest man in America in Duty.
I saw him steal a base earlier this week. He flew. There goes Johnson.
And Johnson's got it. He's got the base stolen. Good job by Mariano Ricciardi, who protected Johnson and swung at that so that the catcher had to wait. Watch this. This is doing your job right there,
and he
protecting.
swings late. Looks like purposely at it there, too. And Johnson just gets around, almost had his hand off the bag, but he's in there.
Yeah, that's a veteran move by Mariano Ricciardi.
Savvy guys had a big game in relief here of the starter Tom Walraven, who did up his record on base streak earlier tonight.
Up the middle, Williams has it on to first, and out. Close play. Mariano thought he was safe. Trevor Johnson moves over to third.
I think you'll see. They got him. It was close, and that's only because Mariano really digs down the line. But it's a strong throw. Going back up the middle. He has a little problem in the glove, and that's what made it close. And I think he just did beat him. I think it was a good call.
That's again Matty Ball.
That's Matt Ball make the call.
So we know we're going to be
say,
like,
sorry,
Matty Ball made the call. Good
Mariano,
call.
I know. All right, local guy. I had to give it to the other local guy.
This is Trevor Jensen.
Bang bang play.
In an RBI spot. Jensen scored the second run of the game. Jensen lifts one into left field, and a nice grab. Aiden McDermott coming on, makes the catch, saves a run. After 7 complete, it's 3-2 Worcester. Welcome back, everyone. Brian Arbach. Still on the hill for Worcester. He's on in relief. And again, one of those guys, a starter in college, pitched a lot of innings, so the Bravehearts kind of bringing him in a relief role where he'd normally throw just 1 or 2 innings. He's on for his 3rd inning of work. Arbach's been good. He can bring it.
Hasn't thrown a lot of pitches.
Upstairs.
Hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. This is the 8th batter he's faced. He's retired the last 6 in a row.
Good command for Arbach. Again, hits the low 90s. His changeup, right around 8 to 10 miles below what his fastball is, which is what they'd like to see. They like to see that kind of a drop. Throw the hitters off, and this ball well struck to left field. It is over, and it is off the base of the wall. Ryan Sullivan on his way into second, and he's got a leadoff double. Ryan Sullivan, the big hitter, the cleanup hitter for Nashua.
Well, he had 12 home runs this spring for Southern New Hampshire. 44 runs scored. Drills that one to the base of the wall in the power alleys there. Pretty good throw from center from Johnson, just to one side of the bag, and would have been a little bit closer there. Oh, it was crushed. They're going to get a pinch runner in for him right now. Down a run. They're going to make a move, try to get a little more speed on the base pass. That's Tom Blandini, a teammate of Sullivan's out of Schnoo, Southern New Hampshire.
Top of the 8th here, and a leadoff double from Ryan Sullivan. And the bunt attempt from Anthony Maduri is foul. Maduri 0 for 3. He's grounded out to the pitcher twice. Flew out to right field as well. Trying to move that runner over. Arbach giving him the high fastball, a tougher pitch to bunt, to get down.
There is action in the Braveheart bullpen as well.
Kaczynski playing for the bunt as he's way in and starts running towards the plate on the windup. John Friday staying back at third with the runner at second. And that ball's fouled back, so you now have an 0-2 count. You would think you would have eliminated the bunt opportunity here. Good job by Arbach. There's J.P. Pine in the background. Manager giving some signals and some signs. He's managed at every level.
Nashua's making moves. They've got a pinch hitter out on deck. So they're making some moves here to try to get a run across, at least here in the 8th.
Missed it outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Arbach gets a huge strikeout. Maduri goes down on strikes. Now Andrew Janig will come to the plate. Oh no, this is, you're right, the pinch hitter. Nashua bringing in Ethan Joyce out of Southern Connecticut. Kid from Exeter, New Hampshire. Joyce has got himself a good beard. It's a good New Hampshire beard. The Granite State.
Janig had a hit in his last at-bat. Must like the matchup with Joyce here in the late inning.
Joyce on the ground to first base. Kaczynski flips to Arbach for one. And Sullivan moves over, or the pinch runner rather, moves over to third. So runner at third now with two down. Good play that time from Kaczynski and Arbach. And now Nashua. JP Pine's going to walk out and make a move here with two outs.
Now he's got a guy
Teddy
set
Bodette
and ready to go. We got a pitching change coming to you here. Bravehearts make a move. We'll take a break. Be back with Worcester on top. Well, maybe not. Hold on. They're moving the guy back. He's running back out to the.
Look at, he's saying, wait a minute, hold on.
I was called in, and I'm not called in.
Reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Cody Lawyerson.
Lawyerson's out of UMaine.
Sent back.
He's a guy that's pitched very well for them, too, Cody Lawyerson. He pitched yesterday against Brockton.
Look at the bullpens having some fun with him now.
Oh, they're loving it.
Yeah. You know, that'd be a good place to be. If you got signed for one day, just be in the bullpen.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that's
not
where
going
you
to
want to
pitch.
be.
I'm just going to be here.
Yep.
Obviously, in college, it's different. But, in the minor league.
We're going to have to work on that. Maybe you can get a one-day contract with the Bravehearts.
Well, I wouldn't qualify. Well, I do have some eligibility left.
That's right. You'd have to use a fake ID.
I do have eligibility left, and I teach in a college.
That's true, too.
So maybe.
We'd have to get the ID back from the Auburn Police Department. That was confiscated years ago. Here's Andrew Lacombe.
I still have my Providence College ID. I think that'll work.
All right, you could use that. Out of Providence College. They haven't had a baseball team there in a few years.
I was there, though, when there was a baseball team.
Lacombe is going to come in here in the bullpen, and that's a big fastball from Arbach. Teddy Bodette, the catcher, here with two outs and a man on third. Ryan Arbach wants to finish this inning himself. Off speed, and he liked it. Fred Koffel liked it.
I think with the ump, you figured you're going to get a little bit of love out there on the corner. Didn't happen. Umpires back and forth on that edge.
2-2 pitch. He came with a high fastball, tried to get him going. Payoff pitch, and he walked him. A good at bat from Teddy Bodette, the catcher, who was down on the count and works himself a walk.
Second time he's been aboard via the walk. And here's McDermott, who showed his power back in the fourth with a double up against the center field fence.
There's JP Pine. Great player out of Milford, Massachusetts. Went to St. Joe's up in Maine. Has coached in the Can-Am League, the Futures League, coached Double-A with the Blue Jays affiliate in Manchester, New Hampshire. Coached up at UMaine, one of the great Division I programs in the Northeast. UMaine used to be the premier baseball Division I program in the Northeast. Still a good one.
Charlie Butler, out of Neshoba in the University of Maine, was at the game tonight, former Braveheart.
On the ground to second base, Mariano Ricciardi flips to his brother for 1-2. No! Safe, and I think they called him safe at second as well.
Well, they didn't
all you
need
needed was
two.
one.
They didn't need two, and they didn't get the tag in on the man at second.
So the run comes in, and now we're all tied up at 3.
Going to go as a fielder's choice. Here it is. See, Ricciardi can't quite get the ball out of the glove, so Dante is going to try to fire this one to first, and just not in time. Good speed down the line by McDermott. Gets the run across, and we're tied.
That brings up Cam Cruz, the center fielder, now with a runner in scoring position. 2 on, 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning. Nashua scratching to run across here.
Yeah, strange play, but one of those things where ball gets in on you on the glove and had to try to make a quick play. Just didn't work out.
Down the line and foul.
That was laced down the right field line.
Yep.
You would think this has got to be the last last batter for Auerbach. Lawyerson's been ready. Pinch hitter might be his final guy if he gets him.
Little flare into center field. Johnson coming on, diving catch. What a grab by Trevor Johnson. And that prevents at least one run, the go-ahead run. But the Silver Knights get one after 7.5. We're all tied at 3 apiece.
Bravehearts Baseball on Charter TV 3 brought to you in part by the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia.
New pitcher for the Nashua Silver Knights is Brandon Jewer, who's going to be a sophomore at Stonehill University, Stonehill College. He is out of Billerica, Massachusetts. 6'4", 175 pounds.
New first baseman as well, as Nashua made some moves in that last inning. Tom Joyce playing first now for the Silver Knights.
Greg Kuczynski will lead it off.
Here's a good time for the Bravehearts to answer with the heart of the lineup at the plate. Kuczynski's 1 for 3 with a double, 2 RBI.
Come on, Greg, come on, Greg.
That one shaved off to third.
And the catch is made by Cam Cook. Leadoff batter is retired, Joe Keiko. Oakdale, Massachusetts native. Became the former standout at Worcester Academy and Holy Name. Joe Keiko playing out of the University of New Haven. Great baseball tradition there. The MVP of this team so far, according to his manager.
Allie could use one from him here. Keiko is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts his last 2 at-bats.
Joe's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes.
Work him outside again, try to get him to chase. Keiko laying off that one. He didn't earlier in the game. He's laying off that pitch now. Nice job.
3-0.
Nice job by Keiko.
Three-0 pitch, see if Keiko's taking. In there for a strike, tough pitch, good pitch.
Hey, come on now, Joe.
3-1. And he walked him. So Joe Keiko drawing the walk.
Got to give credit to the pitching of Schneider, who came in relief. Justin Snyder gave up that run. Really not him, nor was it charged him. It was charged to Githens, the starter, but kind of came back down and shut the Bravehearts down the last couple innings. Got around a hit in the 7th and did well.
And the ball for John Friday.
I think we've seen a pretty well pitched game on both sides here tonight.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, things were really moving along earlier. One-0 pitch to Friday, ball 2.
Friday, memory serves, led the team in hits last year, total hits. He's a hit machine. He can get it done.
He had a huge hit last night. In the second game, he tied the game up. He had the game-tying hit. Had 2 RBIs with a 2-out single in the 7th inning. And it was a doubleheader, so it was the final inning. He had a 2-out single that tied the game. Yeah, he said, you know, JP Pine said he just impacted so much last year. Impacted the team so much. He was like, you put him in the book for like 1 or 2 RBIs a game last year. His dad, Tim Friday, played for the Detroit Red Wings in the NHL.
Yeah, athletic family, the Fridays.
They're looking again for him, one of those guys that he can get going and be a 1 or 2 RBI a game guy for Worcester. He's got to be tough, though, with his dad playing in the NHL, and especially at the time when he played. That was when it was really physical, tough league. Tim Friday. John pops out.
Caught him off balance a little bit. The back foot popped that one up opposite way. Second baseman making a play on it. There's 2 down for Koffel.
Brett Koffel, the catcher. Done a nice job with the pitchers tonight, as he always does, the quarterback of that defense. He's got some pop. Koffel's got some pop in his bat. On the ground, down the line, foul. Keiko will retreat to first. Cam Cook, the Nichols College standout, got it in foul territory.
Could use one here just to wake up and energize this crowd. A big, big crowd here tonight. On a Friday night, they've got fireworks after the show. Rain held off.
Yeah.
It's still humid in this booth. I don't know if it's as humid outside, but there's 0 airflow in our portion of the booth right now.
0-1 pitch, runner goes, the throw down to second, and Keiko is in there.
Yep, got his hand in under the tag.
And you see what kind of an athlete Joe Keiko is. He's a strong, sturdy kid. He was a quarterback, running back, linebacker in high school football.
Now he's in scoring position. All it would take would be a single to the right spot here.
1-2 the count to Brett Koffel.
You like JP Pine taking that chance. Putting your runner in motion. Try to make something happen.
Catcher sets up low and away. Koffel fights it off, pops it up to first base, and the catch is made by Thomas Joyce. The Bravehearts threaten, they strand one. We're still tied at 3. The dizzy bat race. That's a tough scene. And
oh, no.
2-car pileup. It clipped the leg.
That's the Auburn fast pitch softball league right there. I went to high school with that young lady right there. She won.
She did win.
Good job, Melissa.
The young kids enjoying this one, waiting for the fireworks.
It's a great thing. It's a great night out here at Hanover Insurance Park. You know, so many leagues are different. The Cub Scouts are here. There are leagues here. The Auburn Fast Pitch Softball League is here. And you know, you see little leagues here all the time, or different teams, and just a fun night out.
Yeah. Cody Lawyerson from UMaine is the new pitcher for Worcester. He's got a fastball, a slider. Makes it uncomfortable for right-handed batters.
He's kind of like their go-to guy in the bullpen, and they almost went to him last inning. Waved him back.
That one's fouled back and out of play. He's living with his teammate Matt Jeffreyon. Jeffreyon, they're both from UMaine, but Jeffreyon from the area.
Is a Algonquin kid, just like Friday.
And so he's living at the with the Jeffreyons in Northborough. A couple Black Bears from UMaine. They've had a pretty good pipeline of UMaine kids coming in here to play in Worcester in the summertime. And of course, JP Pine knows the coaching staff up there at UMaine, having coached there. Big swing and a miss, and Cody Lawyerson gets the strikeout to start things off.
Yeah, JP Pine introduced us to a YouTube segment called Bear Durham. And he stars in it.
Yep.
It's a little spoof on the movie. JP Pine plays the pitching coach there, the assistant coach. And he comes on out. Bear Durham. Check it out on YouTube. It's still out there, floating around.
Here's Cam Cook.
Along with Kevin Shea's Twitter account.
Been reactivated.
It's back.
And misses down and away. 1-1 the count now to Cook. Second in the league in average with a .439 average for Cam Cook.
Have you tweeted today?
Oh yeah, I
that's
did.
Right.
I did tweet earlier. A lot of pressure on you tonight.
Yeah, there is. Working with you, there's a ton of pressure. Ton of pressure.
A lot of pressure on you.
Got to make sure if you're going to make it through the game.
That is true. We had to fly over to the Railers headquarters. We met the new assistant coach. You'll hear from him on Monday during our sportscast.
Sports team was viciously late.
Yep.
To the Railers today.
That is true. Always good to see the Railers and see Eric Lindquist, Mike Myers in the group. Won't be that long now. Cook, straight single into center field. Continues to be a hot hitter for Nashua. First hit of the night for him.
Well, the Silver Knights have only gone down in order once. That was in the 7th. They've put a runner on in every inning other than that one.
Kyle Banicki.
They've gotten a heck of a performance up and down the lineup, but Cook got his first hit there.
One out. Lawyerson, the pitcher for the Worcester Bravehearts. Facing Kyle Banicki. Banicki is 1 for 4 tonight. Single and an RBI in the first inning. Outstanding. The chicken fingers and fries coming out, and this will just rev us up.
I hope
we're ready for extra innings.
I hope this doesn't mean, there'll be extras.
We're ready for extra innings, you and I. Kyle Banicki, John Creedon bringing over the chicken fingers and fries. This is the Cadillac of the snack bar here at Hanover Insurance Park.
Always great hosts.
They really are. And John, God bless him, and his sister and his dad just nonstop running around the entire game, you know, a couple hours before, making sure that everything's running smoothly. I mean, essentially they're inviting 4,000 people to their house.
Right. No, I saw John. He was greeting people. As I walked in, he was greeting fans as they were coming in. He was helping direct traffic. I mean, he just does a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Here's Banicki. Soft grounder. Ricciardi, strong throw to first. That's a great play by Dante.
That's a heck of a play. Nice. Wow. This ball not hit hard.
No.
I think he just kind of loops it over the pitcher's mound, and Dantes has to charge this one and get rid of it quickly, and it's just a missile over to first.
And a left-handed batter, too, you're a couple steps closer to first. That's
Mickey's
a
no
good
slouch.
play.
You can get down the line. Now Sullivan's out of the game, remember. So here's Thomas Joyce, the new first baseman, a lefty, with his first at-bat.
2 outs, runner in scoring position for Nashua. Lawyerson delivering the breaking ball. It is ball 1.
Thomas Joyce is hitting .250. He does have a home run, 4 RBI on the year.
Swing and a miss on the fastball. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Thomas Joyce with Cam Cook at second. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on the fastball. Lawyerson ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. And now this crowd getting loud. Hoffel sets up low and away. The fastball upstairs. Oh! They thought they got him. Thought that he offered no sale, says Matty Ball. Matty Ball's right on it. And again, we back all of the calls.
That was close, Matt. That was close.
He's our guy.
Testing my loyalty.
Yep. Thomas Joyce, 2-2 count. Cody Lawyerson, standout from the University of Maine. Upstairs, did he go that time? He did. Lawyerson gets the strikeout. And the last chance for the Bravehearts to win it in regulation's coming up. Welcome back, everyone. Drew Goldstein entertaining the crowd.
Yeah.
In between innings. They did not have Peterman out there to dance. Goldstein had the red jacket, and he was putting on a clinic, dancing with the stars. First pitch swinging.
There we go.
Off the second baseman, and the leadoff man is aboard for Worcester.
Kind of ate up the second baseman a little bit there, Williams.
Pat DeMarco on first.
Could it be the Goldstein dance? Now, this is a former Doherty High School sports standout baseball player.
Yep.
He's running the clock or the scoreboard here, so he's got to do the dance, and then he has to quickly run up and then do his job in the press box.
He was doing the lawnmower right there. We saw the shopping cart, the sprinkler, the whole repertoire.
Peterman might be out of a dancing gig now.
That's a good point. Dante Ricciardi squared to bunt, pulled it back. Worcester just trying to get a man in scoring position
Here's
right now.
the thing. Dante made the defensive play in the last inning.
How often do you see?
At the plate with a chance to do something. Little gapper here, puts it away.
.1-0 pitch coming to Ricciardi, squares to bunt. He did offer at that one.
Now that's not going to be a gapper if you're going to square to bunt.
Nope.
So.
Down and away.
He hits a gapper, I'm going to dump the Gatorade on you. You're going to get the Gatorade shower here in the press box.
Brandon Jewer, the pitcher. Slider that darted down and away. Ricciardi squares to bunt. Drops down a good one. Oh, right in front of the plate. No, it's a foul ball, they're saying.
Umpire was right on top of it.
Teddy
was
Bodette.
right on top of it.
Wow, that's a great play from Bodette, too. He's not happy because he was going to nail the lead runner, and that probably would have been a double play.
Could have been a double play. Bravehearts fortunate there. Now Dante's going to have to hit away.
One-two count to Dante Ricciardi. With DeMarco on, that one skips in the dirt. DeMarco's going to second.
He's in there.
Bodette's got a cannon of an arm.
He does. I'll tell you what. DeMarco made a late decision to go. If he had gone right away, this isn't close. But man, Bodette has a rifle that he fires down there. Throw was high, so it wasn't that close a play, but a good throw would have made it close. So
Now here's your RBI situation. Looking for a walk-off win here. Dante Ricciardi's single may just do it.
Dante does have a little flair for the dramatic. I believe he's had a couple walk-offs with the Bravehearts that he's been a part of. I don't have Daryl sitting right next to me, but I'm sure he's been part of at least one. I think a couple, though, that I can remember.
Well, he had 3 hits the other night here at home, the night that JP Pine got ejected. In there for a strike. Dante didn't like the call. It's a good pitch for Brandon Jewer, who gets the first out of the inning.
Oh yeah, just dropped in there. That's a tough one under the hands. That would have been a tough one to hit.
Now here's Trevor Johnson, coming off an outstanding freshman year at Dartmouth. Chance here to be the hero with DeMarco at second. 3-3 tied up. Bottom of the 9th. Bravehearts and the Nashua Silver Knights. And they're going to intentionally put Johnson on to face Mariano Ricciardi.
Well, it sets up a force and a potential double play. Although Ricciardi is a tough one, I would imagine, to double up with his speed. But it does set up a force play. If Walraven's there, I don't know if they do it. So now if you're Mariano Ricciardi, you say, all right, gonna try out the kid. Let's see what I can do.
Brandon Jewer, for these pitches here for the intentional walk, has been putting some heat on them.
Yeah, they've been authoritative. Here comes the manager, though. Here comes BJ Neverett. We're going to make a move and bring in a relief pitcher to face Ricciardi, who has been announced.
Yep.
And this is an official call of the bullpen, no doubt. Neverett's going to make the move. We'll take the break. We're tied at 3. The Bravehearts threatening in the 9th.
Ryan Covell is the new pitcher out of Medford, Massachusetts. Plays at Franklin Pierce.
It's his 8th appearance, an ERA of 1.04 and a record of 2-1. Bravehearts fans are prepared to celebrate if they can.
Yep.
2 on, 1 out here in the 9th.
Jake Belyons getting on the dugout. He's ready to get it going. Joe Piscalis down there on the camera for us. I know. It looked like he was right over the top of Joe, and I'm like, wow, that's a little close.
So they make the move to the bullpen to face Ricciardi.
Trevor Johnson on first. Pat DeMarco on second. JP Pine talking to both of his young players during that pitching change. Mariano Ricciardi at the plate. I was waiting. I have said that now over the last 3 years. I don't know how many times I've called him Mariano Rivera.
I was waiting.
I've done it again. Mariano Ricciardi at the plate. (0-1) the count. Covell comes upstairs with a fastball. Ricciardi lays off.
Place is just waiting to explode here.
Mariano going to Florida Atlantic next year. And he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. So the Ricciardi's getting one of their sons back from Florida, as Dante coming up and going to Bryant University, and then another one going back down to the Sunshine State. Up high, ball 3.
Good count.
3-1 the count to Ricciardi. DeMarco on second, Johnson on first. 3-3 game, bottom of the 9th, 1 out. Covell walks him, and the bases are loaded.
Now this is the guy you want.
Yep.
They're going to send the pitching coach out now. Trevor Jensen's going to step to the plate. They do have action, the Silver Knights do, in the bullpen, but this one is Covell's game right now.
Kyle Jackson, their pitching coach, pitched in the minor leagues in the Red Sox system. He was drafted in the 32nd round of the 2001 Major League Baseball draft, went to St. Petersburg College in Florida.
Nashua moving their infield in, bringing their outfield into mid-depth here. Anything in the air is going to be a challenge for a sacrifice fly. So they're shallow in the outfield, relatively speaking.
Time is called.
Certainly shallow and right. Infield is back at double play depth. The corners are in.
Jensen on the ground, foul. First pitch swinging. No balls and a strike now. Ryan Covell, the pitcher for Nashua. 3-3 game, bottom of the ninth. Nashua got one in the eighth to tie it up. Trevor Jensen at the plate with the bases loaded. Long look in. He missed it outside, 1-1. Great anticipation, great drama here at the ballpark. And a great crowd on hand for this one, most of whom have stayed throughout. Missed it, 2-1. A little bit of a Dan Quisenberry delivery from Ryan Covell, a little Quisenberry, Dennis Eckersley. Kent Ticovey, the old pillbox Pittsburgh Pirate hats. Sean Grady, our producer-director, bringing it.
Uh-oh.
And this one popped up to first, Thomas Joyce. It's in no man's land, and it falls in. And the Worcester Bravehearts with a walk-off win. Trevor Jensen, a flare to right. It dropped in. Pat DeMarco scores, and the Bravehearts win it. 4-3 your final. The celebration goes on the diamond.
Well, the infield, the corners were in. It's maybe a somewhat of a routine play. Corners in, tough play, no man's land. It was interesting. It wasn't necessarily pretty, but it was effective.
Doesn't matter. They just tell you how many, not
That's
how
right.
you do it. The Bravehearts have now won 3 in a row. Our next television broadcast of Bravehearts baseball will come your way Friday, July 7th. It'll be Worcester and Nashua, round 3. The final tonight, the Worcester Bravehearts win it, a walk-off win, 4-3 over the Nashua Silver Knights. For Andy Lacombe, our producer-director Sean Grady, and our entire Charter TV3 crew, I'm Kevin Shea. Thanks for watching, everyone. So long from Hanover Insurance Park.